about is Fulani headsmen. They have come to kill, to maim, because some of them carry most sophisticated weapons. Fulani headsmen, but Fulani headsmen do not exist in vacuum. They don't just come, wake up from Sokoto, from Katsina, from Maiduguri and say they must have carried survey. There must be an exchange of idea. There will be some erratic individual within the community that actually give them, that sold the entire community out for them to come and attack.
So guys, this is what is happening in Ebonyi State. Now, like I said, Southeast is boiling. And guess what? Let me stay where. And guess what? And then I came across this headline that is so shameful to even come across. So it says, it's two. The one said that amid rising killings, Ebonyi State government splashes 8.3 billion on purchase of official vehicles. So after all the report that the Fulani herdsmen invaded the community in Ebonyi State, they were still spending money on buying vehicles for each of the officials. Like I told you, if you are still believing on the government of Nigeria, you are yet to wake up, because I think everybody needs to wake up and fight for themselves. Especially what Ned said, that everybody should be licensed to even carry gun. Because what is all this? Where the policemen cannot even protect us again. Imagine police were the ones that came to give the info that watch, that this is what happened, and then that day it happened. None of them were nowhere. All of them disappeared. Then 6 hours after the operation, they all came to console with people that was spied by the Fulani herdsmen. So another one said, we elected Ebonyi governor 4 days before deadly herdsmen attack, says the youth council. So that means the governor were even aware of this incident before it happened, and they could not even bring soldiers or military men, or let's say police, to safeguard that region. They could not do any of this, but rather they are busy spending money on vehicles that for the officials. Like I said, the better we learn to protect ourselves, because this government don't even give a damn about anybody in Nigeria. So like guys to continue your video and enjoy it. You can end your video in the comment section. I'll be with you guys in a minute.
Before we get into the details of the reaction of the deputy government, the governor, the gesture, and what the intentions are, suspected herdsmen in a community, ravaging about 3 villages in that community, killing up to 15 people. And this happened on Sunday. This is over 48 hours already, and it's still the news of people being missing, people dead, and not even one indication as to possibilities of having suspects in this killing. What exactly should be the fate of the people in the community? Because a lot of people are fleeing their homes already. Because it looks like what is the priority of the government to secure the lives of the citizen is not being assured.
Thank you very much for that very exciting, your presentation, and also with a view to unravel the mystery. Let's truth be told, the issue of farmer headers clash is a national menace that has thrown the entire nation into a state of quagmire and also comatose. And it seems now that they are being overprotective in their act. Suffice to say now that we've gone through a lot of issues concerning farmer headers clash, issue of having ranch, and recently we have a Ministry of Livestock, which is to deal with the issues. That tells you now that they've shown some preeminence in the way to do, because of the kind of how they've been backed, the kind of audacity with which they use, which means throughout all the operation, none of them has been caught. None of them have been prosecuted. Of the quantum killing that spanned over a long years, none of them have been prosecuted. We only hear they were captured. At the end of the day, they were released because of politicking. So to the best of my knowledge, it's nothing new. It's ravaging the entire nation. Suffice to say, if you look at the North Central, it's been completely married, the Benue state, but there is a connotation in the undertone in it, the ethnic clashes. There is a recent survey I did in my place as a community leader, because the issue is now a national menace. But let us now come and have a clear understanding. Understanding in the sense that, do you expect cattle from Katsina to come straight to the place to start wearing? Of course, no. What we did in our own case was to pursue the owner of the cattle. We now realize that most of the cattle that are in the south belongs to southerners. They don't belong to the northerners, because it's a lucrative trade. So you find out that for people to have the audacity to come into a community and start wanton killing, there must be a kind of communal effort backing to do such a thing. How come they know the place? How come they know the house?
So are you suggesting that this is beyond someone in business trying to wear their cattle?
It goes beyond. It's just like when you say Boko Haram, when you say Lakurawa. It's a surface thing, it's a coloring effect. The undertone is exploitation of mineral resources. It's the same thing that we're having. The issue of farmer clash has a lot of ethnic clashes, ethnic connotation in it. You find out that at the end of the day, two communities were involved. Ishi people, which are peace-loving people, did not react, and also the F-Night, which is F-Rom community, which the community where the attack emanated from. You will see now that it is a combination of ethnic clashes. It's also a kind of revenge mission.
If you say revenge mission, you are still not addressing the issue as people suggesting that these were Fulani herdsmen.
Hold on.
This happened in the southeast.
Hold on. I said State. It is farmer headers cry. It's Fulani herdsmen. I'm saying now that Fulani herdsmen does not exist in a vacuum. They ride on what we call special purpose vehicle. It is Fulani herdsmen. That is the coloration. That is the idea that was sold to people that came to attack. Is that not so? But beyond that, they say if there's no smoke, there will not be fire. I'm not saying now that let's come to a point of reason. Point of reason is that you expect Fulani herdsmen to come from Katsina, from Maiduguri, and come and start killing people. The major issue is that what really resulted into this issue were IPOB members in the forest that they killed in the ravaging the forest, and through that they now migrate to the community. That shows now that there must be a kind of inroad into it. Farmers said that these Fulani herdsmen don't just come and ravage.
So are there some sort of machineries?
Oh yeah, the machinery and incursion is through the community. Some errand from rascal within the community. Let me tell you, if you don't know how the setup is, you can't come and say you want to leave. You must have interacted with somebody you must, and many a time down, they pay some ransom to this indigent. If there is no hole in the wall, thought cannot just enter. Is that not so? The ravaging we're talking about is Fulani herdsmen. They have come to kill, to maim, because some of them carry most sophisticated weapons. I'm saying now that they ride on what we call special purpose vehicle. How did they come into the community? I said this study was we unraveled into where we had a similar case in Ogun State. We were saying they come to destroy crop discord. We now carry out the due diligence to understand that they didn't just come. They must have been there on a survey. They must have been there getting to know some few people.
Oh, okay, let me cut you there.
Every day
if you say that they must have been there to get some survey, that means that there is a possibility of this being Fulani herdsmen.
They're Fulani herdsmen. I'm saying they're Fulani herdsmen.
So you're saying that they're working hand in hand with
some radical community member.
So what will have been the interest? What will have been the purpose for?
Thank you so much.
Most of the cattle we are talking about belong to the indigenous of the southeast people. They don't belong to the north. Can we imagine if you put a thinking cap? Will somebody just carry his own cattle from Katsina, from Maiduguri, straight to Katsina? Traversing the lorry. Most of these cattle belong to those. We actually trace our own. Similar case occurred in Abeokuta. In Professor that caused a kind of vulnerability within Professor Shoyinka. They actually traced to understand that the owner of the cattle that were roaming about, they belong to the south, to the people in the indigenous. So what we're saying, it is a farmer headers class, Fulani herdsman, but Fulani herdsmen do not exist in vacuum. They don't just come, wake up from Sokoto, from Katsina, from Maiduguri and say they must have carried survey. There must be an exchange of idea. There will be some erratic individual within the community that actually give them, that sold the entire community out for them to come and attack. How come they came as at that time? You understand? To start killing. How come they came? They were specific in what they do. How come they say when they came to attack, a lot of people went to them, and some of them were in the bush to attack? How come you have such an organized crime, killing people, wanton destruction of life and property?
Okay, you think that it's a well-planned attack?
It's a orchestrated attack. Well-planned, orchestrated. And it is a farmer headers class. The idea is to maim, to kill, and to dominate the place. Suffice to say, there were compromises. We're talking about all these areas are interior rural area. There is no mutual able.
Something like this happened in Owo, where we had people invade Owo town some years back and killed people. And there were allegations that, Fulani herdsmen have gotten into the southwest and all of that. Would you say that was well orchestrated too? It was well orchestrated. At the end of the day, most of the people are within the south. Some of them come some of them from Kwara, some of them from Owo itself. What I'm saying is a criminal gang. And criminal comprises of a lot of people who are gang members. I'm saying now that the community members are involved. The Fulani men don't act in isolation. They are well orchestrated. The idea is to want to dominate any area they will have a green vegetation. And most of the green vegetation are owned by people. People sold out. I'm confirming that there is a selling out of some of the Caspian community members to give way to them. When they come, like they dominate the place. But to what end? Because why would an Igbo man from Ebonyi sell out his own people to herdsmen because he wants what exactly?
Let me tell you, okay, the same question you're asking. I'll ask, why will people in my community sold out and invaded the land of some people, then plant their material, they plant cassava, plant and they destroy. It's for commercial gain. It's purely for commercial. They call it business. It's a business. They have a commercial gain. I'm saying that Fulani don't just wake up from where they are and come to the place and start destroying. If there's no smoke, there'll be no fire. I'm saying it's still farmer headers style, but it has ethnic coloration, ethnic clashes, and it's a revenge mission.
Okay, let's take more details important. And when things like this happens over and over again, you begin to question the position of the government, the security agencies, and of course, the leadership of those communities. But in another development, the traditional ruler of Nkalaha community, Igwe Thompson Ebe, said that he had written a report to the governor and copied security agencies because the problem did not just start today. He said that this problem started on January 20th till 31st of January. So these are heavy allegations for a community leader to have suspected that something was wrong and written to the governor of the state. I mean, because some are saying that the presence of the deputy governor coming to say that she's giving the security agencies 24 hours to fish out the people that have perpetrated such evil. What's the connection between traditional rulers and the governor? How much respect is given to the office of the traditional ruler, and how much audience is given to them too? Because, I mean, they are supposed to be like a face of the government who has direct contact with his own people. So why should he write to the government, to the governor, to security agencies, and nothing was done till this evil was perpetrated?
Thank you for that. In the olden days, the kings, the bailiffs, are the chief security of their domain because they know in and out of the place and they have their ears to the ground. That is how it's been done. That's why we're even working out that there must be integration of community of the king of the town, the community leader, into the security network to form a non-kinetic aspect of engagement.
Have they never been a part of it?
They are on the surface level. They have not been totally recognized by constitution. There's no enabling law that really gives them the impetus and the protection to do what they're supposed to do. It is just concern. Suffice to say, some of the kings are also compromises because of the commercial gain. What happened is this: a community leader is like the chief operating or chief security officer of the place. You know, they have their own people, vigilantes group on the town. They have the people who conduct local intelligence network for them in the town. So the community leader holds a lot of information. So therefore, before it happened, some of them had they are bracing enough to alert the government of the day. Remember, the government of the day, the chief of security officer is the governor of the day. He's supposed to provide social welfare and also security of the people. But we find out that because of protocol that they form, because of the chain of command, many a time the information don't go to the governors. And you find out
so who is to blame that the information don't get to the governors? Because if a commissioner, if a traditional ruler can not have access to the governor, then how bad is the situation with ordinary citizens?
Remember, the community leader we are saying, they have the direct line of the line of responsibility is towards the local government chairman. They don't have access because governors they have protocols you have to go through. And I told you now that this is an orchestrated network.
Protocols when it's about the lives of people, because this is a heavy allegation here where he said that he had written reports to the governor and copied the security agency. Should we then say that the governor should be liable for the lives lost?
We're not going to confirm that until due diligence. In fact, there's another school of thought that said the youth wing of Ohaneze Indigo also informed the governor 4 days before the attack. Let me be frank with you. Whenever issues of this come out, people want to show a level of ascribe some level of importance to themselves. You'll be hearing like they say community leader did it. They say youth wing of the Indigo did. But the question we're saying, if a community leader has the time to lodge a complaint, we're saying what is his responsibility? Also, he is supposed to be able to offer some local intelligence to actually call for reinforcement when it happens like that. So everything, the chain of command, for instance, the entire value chain, they have their blame. They should have their blame. From the community leader, from the village clans, from the local government, before it gets to the state government. All of them, there's love. Incidentally, you find out that most of these areas we're talking about are remote areas that have no road. Accessing it has been the problem. Even the military surveillance network also have the same problem because they will say the roads are not good and to have access is a lot of problem. And many of these people, the people we're talking about, the Fulani herdsmen, there's a lot of heavy intelligence on what they do. The entire Southwest, entire Nigeria have been surveyed.
So this is quite embarrassing if we agree that these herdsmen have high intelligence. Should it be bigger than what our security agencies have? Let me be frank with you. I've
told you, it's a criminal gang. They've conducted Do you even know that some of them, they hold phone, they communicate with them, they have a network? They communicate as far back to high and mighty. Suffice to say, during the time of Jonathan, he apparently came publicly that there are some people who are headsmen, Fulani headsmen in this cabinet. What happened as at that time? Every successive government, they give them preeminence. For instance, the federal headsmen, they have their association are very strong. In fact, they have a political heavyweight in determining what will happen. They are, they are revered. I am saying now that for the time they've been killing, maiming, had there been any prosecution? Had any of them gone to incarceration? Has any of them been jailed? In fact, the army defense came that many a time when they get some of those, when they get some of those people, profile them. By the time they receive one, because the army itself cannot just come and prosecute. They are meant to interface. I'm saying the highest people that are to defend the territorial integrity of the nation. They also do not have the power to prosecute. What they can do is to profile and refer to the case for proper adjudication in customary court. But because I told you, it's a racketeering of criminal gang. And the high and mighty also who is not interested in making money. This is transactional. This is a money-making machine. So which means almost the high and mighty. And otherwise, how has the trade been sustained up till now that there's no single prosecution? Okay, with your submission now, would you agree that the government has consistently failed the Nigerian people? There's no gainsaying. The failure is imminent. Most of the security we are talking about, they are at the surface level. The interior is not well protected. The territorial integrity is heavily compromised. That's why we have the armed forces overrun now. The question now is this. What is the do? Security interface ought to occur about 4 levels. That's why the quest for us to have a regional police, a state police, a community police become evident by the compromises we are talking about. In any town, the village surveillance people that go, the vigilantes that are there. In fact, in most of our towns too, we also organize the hunters to come and start trying to defend. It's happening in our own area, which is Ijebu. So what we're saying is this: the chain of command is broken. There's complicity in the gang. It's a criminal gang. You'll be surprised that how come the community leader in the place is saying he wrote. If he has time to write to the governor to intimate the governor, does it mean that after hearing the information he folded his arms? Whereas the local vigilantes are there, there's a police station there, the army formation there. That tells you there's a compromise. When issue comes that people begin to raise issue in order to claim some level of importance, to be able to claim some level of importance, to be able to say I contributed, I tried my best. But the best is not enough because people's lives were involved. This is a governor who was Speaker of the House of Assembly since 2015 up until he became governor in 2023. One would have thought that he should understand the system better, being a lawmaker himself. So it's not about not having access to the House, not having access to the Assembly. You just said that a lot of people will come out to make, stories around the issue that has happened just to say that they've made their voice heard. But that is not enough to exonerate the governor. Let's be frank. I told you the complicity is throughout the value chain. Everybody is complicit until they prove otherwise. Even at that, the governor is the #1 citizen of that state. I said everybody in the value chain. If you say value chain, it means the chief security officer, there's a complicity in the unit. The commissioner in charge of security, there's a complicity. Even the entire security interfaces. Because here we say crocodile fight, chemical fight, almost there's complicity. For instance, if you don't lower the edge, can serpent bite? No. Until we begin to probe, we begin to see who actually lowered the edge. So how does this probe happen when the whole system feels like it's been infiltrated? How do we move on from here? Most of the probe, they are surface probe. You will agree with me, even some of the politicians you are saying, they are only politicians in the glass house. How many of them visit the interior? Is it not stomach infrastructure? Some of them use the step of stomach infrastructure to be there. I know some of them don't even go to their community. Talk less of the village. At least, as a community leader, I'm very close to how police. When they come, they only go to the town hall. How many of them visit the village? Okay, we need to wrap up on this story and move to the next. So, what's your thoughts on the deputy governor's visit and, of course, our statement that she's giving the security agencies 24 hours to fish out the suspects? It's almost 24 hours. It's purely political. After all, they now place ransom to find the killer. Is it messing after death? which means the lowering of the edge is throughout the entire value chain.
So who protects an average Nigerian? How does
There is
Nigerian...
no, let me be frank with you. Our life is in the hand of God. Let's be frank. How come the non-state actor carries sophisticated gun, and yet people are not licensed to carry gun? Even the security interfaces they're talking about, which is police, they have obsolete equipment. How do you explain that? So what we're saying is this: until people come together in unity to discover the hole within the community. I told you the same thing. We try to carry out investigation in my own community to understand how did they find their way in. Where is the weak link? We now discover some people compromise. And they have been compromised. We still have to conduct investigation further to see the extent, because you can't just until you have a proof of evidence, you can't arrest.
Of course. Thank you very much for that submission. Very sad incident.
And what the government could do was just to buy vehicles for officials, despite their meat killing. I think what they should have done, knowing fully that they are aware that the attack will come, what they should have done is what? Safeguard that area, call in, bring in more securities to do that, but they did not do any of them. Even the police that even came to give the info, we are nowhere to be found. They disappeared on that day of the attack, but they came back immediately after the attack have already happened. And you tell me that this thing is not a planned incident, that this thing is not a planned something. And let me tell you the cause of this thing. Now the cause is that in that area they pied a cow, then the whole area suffered the incident. That was what happened. Why that area was attacked is because some cows were pied in that area, because the cows were busy ravaging people's farm. People will suffer and cultivate, and then cow will come and eat up. It doesn't make any sense, and then the government is not doing anything about it. So they took the law to their hands, they pied the cow, and now everyone in the community suffered this, because that's what happened. They burned down houses, churches. Everything that happened was because of a cow. Like I told you, in Nigeria, life of a cow is far more better than life of a citizen, because that's what this government is showing us. Because they had a bill to be passed about ranging, like, let each state have where they keep their cows. The northern leader said no, that they don't agree to that bill, and that was how that bill was not passed. Is because they adore life of cows than life of human beings. So I guys, your views in the comment section. I'll be to guys in a minute as your views. I will see you in my next video. Stay tuned, guys.